Now, your forecast first from KARK4, your weather authority.
An absolutely beautiful mid-November day across the state of Arkansas today. Plenty of sunshine for much of the day, but we already have some mid and high-level cloud cover increasing across the northern and southern parts of the state as a disturbance moves through the central United States. We'll let you know what that means for your Wednesday, but for the rest of the evening hours, look for an increase in mid and high-level clouds. By morning, another frosty start around 33 degrees. KARK4 News at 5 starts right now.
Coming up, a witness to an armed robbery fires his own gun at the suspects at a busy gas station. Was he in the right according to the law? Next, Education Matters as the state's largest teachers union tries to reach an agreement with its district. A live report on this developing story. Plus, after being denied by their insurance company,
it's extremely risky, but it's the only chance he has.
A family fighting to get potentially life-saving treatment.
Now, from the station you count on for local news that matters. This is KARK4 News at 5.
Contract negotiations finally coming to a close today for one of the state's largest teachers unions. Good evening to you. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Jessica Dean.
Hello, I'm Bob Clausen.
A new deal in the Little Rock School District. The teachers union says it has come to a contract agreement with administrators for their more than 2,100 teachers. It will include increases in pay and health insurance contributions. KARK4's Adam Rodriguez is at that meeting where they just finished voting on that agreement. Adam, it's a story that's happening right now.
Yeah, that's right, Jessica. And as expected, the teachers did pass. They voted to pass, rather, this increase in the contract. From what we're being told, the information that we're just receiving, this is a new deal for members that they're going to be getting an extra 1.75% for the 2012-2013 school year. But although the union has passed it, it still needs to be passed by the school board, and that's coming up on their meeting Thursday. In addition to pay, however, the teachers have also or will be receiving an additional $40 a month for their health care insurance. That money, plus the money that they're getting on their contract, begins at the beginning of this year, so they're going to be getting a check for that extra money coming in December. Now, it's a lot of districts around the state keeping salaries flat, but in this case, the Little Rock School District deciding to raise the amount to 1.75% again. People are just barely starting to come out of the meeting here. They tell us that it did pass, but it does lie again now in the hands of the state, or rather the school board, who's voting on it on Thursday. Of course, we're going to cover that and let you know what happens then. Reporting live in Little Rock, Adam Rodriguez, KARK4 News.
Little Rock police say this man you see here was part of a daylight robbery and drew gunfire from a bystander after it. Milton Parker of North Little Rock facing a slew of charges tonight. Police arrested Parker after an armed robbery outside a bank in West Little Rock. During yesterday's robbery, a man was shot in the leg.
But the shooting, it didn't stop there. A man who was at a nearby gas station saw the robbery happen, tried to stop it. The police report says a 50-year-old Little Rock man pulled out his own pistol and fired at the getaway car and missed. The situation generating a lot of buzz over concealed weapons, carrying them, using deadly force. KARK4's Jonathan Athens joins us live with the latest on this case and the debate. Jonathan, a lot of talk around this.
Absolutely, Jessica. And police say they're still investigating this armed robbery. And when it comes to using deadly force, the county attorney's office says the law applies the same whether it's a police officer or a private citizen. And when it comes to getting a concealed carry license, the law is also very clear. You have to pass a background check and you have to successfully pass a training course. But when it comes to the situations some people get into, those situations aren't always cut and dry. In Arkansas, the law says you can use deadly force to protect yourself and other people. Raymond Boisher teaches concealed carry classes.
If criminals know that everyone's packing a firearm and knows how to actually shoot and hit what they're shooting at, they're going to stop robbing individuals.
It didn't exactly play out that way Monday when a 50-year-old Little Rock man shot at a robber's getaway car and missed, hitting another person's vehicle at a gas station. But when it comes to private citizens trying to stop a violent crime in progress, some folks think otherwise.
People can't take matters into their own hands.
Should not do that. Leave that to the police.
One legal expert says this isn't an open and shut case.
In the instance where someone is leaving the scene of this and the event is over, that's really a matter for law enforcement.
He was in the right. He was trying to protect and defend others, to include himself.
One thing is clear, the debate over private citizens using guns in public is far from over. Now, we tried to get hold of the man who tried to stop the robbery, but he could not be reached for comment. And the police say they're going to finish up this investigation, and when they do, they're going to turn the results of that investigation over to the prosecutor's office to see if there's going to be any charges filed. Reporting live in West Little Rock, Jonathan Athens, KARK4 News.
Jonathan, thank you. A former Benton City Parks leader told a judge today she stole public money. Prosecutors say Kitty Smith stole close to $6,500 from a park concession stand she was in charge of, then lied about it in the paperwork. She was sentenced to 3 years probation and has to pay back all that cash.
A body found in a Grant County well has yet to be identified. No word if foul play was involved here. The body is at the state crime lab.
The state director of Human Services says Arkansans can expect cuts to Medicaid. John Seelig appeared before the Joint Budget Committee this morning. He says they initially predicted a Medicaid shortfall of nearly $360 million for the coming year. But Governor Mike Beebe has committed $160 million. You combine that with savings in the program, Seelig says the shortfall is now closer to $100 million. We asked where the cuts might come from.
The optional programs where there's real money are things like the lowest level of nursing home care, or a lot of our home and community-based services, what we call the waiver programs for people with disabilities and the elderly.
In continued hearings this afternoon, the director said AR Health Networks, which helps small businesses and self-employed workers without medical coverage, would likely face cuts.
The March of Dimes says Arkansas is doing better when it comes to reducing the rate of premature births, but gives us a D. The premature birth rate in the natural state is just over 13%. That's above the national average of just over 11%. A Little Rock woman who lost her first child when he was born too soon and is now pregnant with her second says she wishes she knew then what she knows now.
You know, I'm learning to speak up, and I've learned to ask the questions and demand the attention, and so far so good, and we're taking the preventive measures needed.
Institute of Medicine estimates that the health problems caused by premature births cost $26 billion annually in the United States.
A man given only 8 months to live, spending the last 4 struggling with his health insurance provider, even though a doctor is willing to perform a potentially life-saving operation.
KARK4's Jocelyn Tovar visited with the man and his family today. Jocelyn?
Well, that's right, Bob. After repeatedly having their petition for the surgery rejected, the family contacted us as a last resort.
Rejection letters.
Geneva Reardon takes us through the paper trail of disappointment, petitioning for a life-saving operation for her husband, Jay.
The surgery is really the only chance of survival for this patient, and that was denied.
In May, doctors found a tumor on Jay's liver.
He turned as yellow as Bart Simpson.
Yellow skin, not the only side effect.
No energy to do anything.
Especially not fight against an insurance company.
What you doing, Maggie?
A remarkable coincidence, Jay's niece, who works in the oncology department of a Kansas hospital, found a doctor willing to perform an experimental operation.
It's extremely risky.
So Geneva petitioned for an out-of-network exception to allow the doctor to perform the operation, but was denied.
Because Health Advantage has in-network providers available.
Twice, but Geneva wouldn't give up and petitioned a third time.
I don't know what's going to happen after that. It's basically a death sentence.
But within an hour of notifying the insurance company of our story, Jay got a call saying the exception was finally approved.
It's the only chance he has.
With a 20 to 30% chance of success, Jay's far from being out of the woods.
I can accept a slim chance. I can't accept zero.
Now, the Reardons were denied by letter twice, but when they were finally approved today, the insurance provider made a personal call. Jay says it's hard to describe just how relieved they are. Bob and Jessica, back to you.
Jocelyn, thank you. A Star City football player upgraded to serious condition nearly 2 weeks after taking a hard hit to the helmet. A Facebook page put together in honor of Zach Towers has over 14,000 likes. Towers endured a head injury during a game earlier this month, and he collapsed a short time later.
Coming up, a decades ago theft case back to haunt a local sheriff. Find out why it could cost him his job this time around.
He sang simply the best, but was it enough to blow America away? Still ahead, a live report on Cody Ballew's performance straight from Los Angeles.
And the growing season has officially ended. In Little Rock, we bottomed out at 32 degrees this morning. That's the coldest temperature we've seen here in Little Rock since February 20th. And with full sunshine today, only up to 55. We'll let you know how much longer these below temperatures will stick around and when a warm-up's expected in just a few minutes.
This is KARK 4 News at 5 in high definition with Bob Clausen, Jessica Dean, and Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan.